the things you would change. Don't pretend to know what you want when you come around and spend my time and again, time and again.
Hello, I'm Andrew Preston and welcome to our kitchen. It's Wednesday, it's Waitangi Day. It feels much like a Sunday, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a Sunday roast. What I've got here is I've got a Ted's Choice Hereford strip loin. It's a beef cut, very nice beef cut here. It's 1.9 kilos, so there's only going to be two of us eating tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off a couple of steaks. It's something that you can do if you buy a whole sirloin, which will be about 4 or 5 kilos. You can cut some steaks off, you can have a couple of pieces of roast. So that's going to be for another day. And you can see there's lots of nice marbling through the sirloin, so it's going to be very tender and very flavoursome.
This is the youngest Preston.
The sirloin has the fat cover on the top, and what I'm going to do roasting it, so I'm going to leave that fat cover on. I am going to score the top and put some seasoning and stuff on the top. The good thing is that you can, once it's all cooked, you can cut the fat off. Okay, so I'm going to score it, and the reason for scoring it is just to allow this topping that I'm going to put on it just to get through the meat, and it'll also just let the fat crackle up and any of the saturated fat to cook out of the meat. Just make sure when you are doing it that you do use a sharp knife. Okay, so I'm just going to put a nice little marinade on top of this sirloin. You can just use salt and pepper, but we like to use this type of marinade. So a little bit of mustard, a little bit of garlic, some Worcester sauce, and a touch of red wine. Now you can just mix that all together. Just baste it on the top. The gravy that we like to have with our roast is great and easy because it does cook while your roast is cooking. What I've got here is I've got some vegetables and you can use any type of vegetable that you've got in your fridge. I've got carrot, celery, a little bit of cabbage. I'm going to crush up some garlic, and then you can put various herbs in, whether or not it's dried or fresh. So leave the vegetables in its with all its skin. And just scatter those veggies through the bottom of the roasting pan. Don't need to be too neat with it because all the flavours are going to mix in. So once all your vegetables are in, you just put your roast on top, and then that's going to cook through and cook through onto the vegetables as well. Okay, we're going to cook this roast in a preheated oven at 180 degrees, and we're going to cook it for about an hour. Okay, now it's time to do the vegetables, and what we're going to do is soften potatoes, kumara and carrot in some salted boiling water for about 10 minutes. Okay, so I've drained my vegetables. I'm going to add it to this roasting pan where we put some rosemary, some bruised garlic and some olive oil. Just going to give a bit of a shake, which will ruffle the vegetables, and that will add to the crispiness of the vegetables. So I'm just going to put them on in there. Going to add beetroot, I cut up earlier. Spread it all out, and that's going to go into the oven with the meat. And we're going to add some broccoli and beans. We're just going to steam that in the colander. Okay, so the meat is all done. I'm going to take it out now, and we're just going to rest it on the chopping board with some tin foil over the top. Now resting it is going to allow all the juices, because when it's cooking all the juices have been cooked into the middle, and what resting it does is allow all the juices of the meat to evenly disperse back through the meat, and that's going to make the meat nice and tender and juicy right the way through. And what you can see with the vegetables that we put in the bottom is they're all nicely crisp up, and what we're going to do is we're going to make a gravy out of these, and we'll show you how to do that. Now we're ready for the gravy. What we've done is we've drained all the fat off. We're going to add 2 heaped tablespoons of flour to this. Get that all mixed in. Any of the excess fat through there. We're just going to continue to mash it right the way through. And what we do is we then add to the mix is we've got 3 cups of water, 3 teaspoons of beef stock, a little splash of wine. Continue mashing, bring it to the boil for about 5 to 10 minutes, and all this stock will reduce and the goodness of the vegetables will go through the stock, and you'll end up with a very nice rich gravy. We're having a beef roast tonight, and typically red wine goes very well with beef roast. And what we're going to have tonight is a Mills Reef wine. It's a reserve Syrah. It is actually made by my uncle and my cousin up in Tauranga. Very, very nice wine. They've got 3 varieties. The top one being an Elspeth brand, the second one being the Reserve brand, and then they've got the Mills Reef Estate, the perfect wine to have with any meal. My favourite roast, it is a real toss-up between lamb, beef and pork, because they've all got different characteristics. The lamb is so sweet and tender. Beef, I can't decide between a beef sirloin or a beef ribeye. They're just both beautiful cuts of meat. And another really great cut of meat for beef is a tail of rump. Great little 2-person roast. And then for pork, you can't really go past that crackling, really, can you? Crackling is just something to behold. So out of those 3, I could eat a roast 2 or 3 times a week easily. Get the prep done early, and because it is such an easy meal to make, you can get the prep done early and let the whole meat and all the veggies cook, and then make sure you've got a few friends and family around to enjoy it, because a roast is a good traditional Kiwi meal, warming. You enjoy the time that you have with your family and friends while the roast is cooking and while you're eating. So now the gravy, we've boiled that down. You can see that all that stock has reduced. Lovely rich colour. And what we're going to do now is just sieve it so that all the pulp of the vegetables that we had underneath the meat just going to be removed by going through the sieve, and what you're going to end up having is a lovely rich gravy. Okay, now the moment of truth. The meat is nicely rested, and so what we're going to do now is we're going to start carving it. And as you can see, nicely medium rare right the way through. So there you have it. This is our roast for tonight. It's a Ted's Choice sirloin. Ted is my grandfather, Ted Preston, and anything with the Ted's Choice label is a seal of quality. So to find out more about our Ted's Choice range, visit our website at prestonsmasterbutchers.co.nz. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again in Preston's kitchen. Cheers.
Still so young to travel so far, and old enough to know who you are, wise enough to carry the